To think that someone who is already in the UK left for Nigeria, oh my goodness, in this season when everyone, Japa season, when everyone is planning to Japa to the Western world, you know the number of migrants in the UK now is currently alarming. And someone who is already in this very country left the United Kingdom with 7 months pregnancy. Oh my goodness. That's unthinkable, in fact. She came back to Nigeria, with that pregnancy. I don't know. Today, I brought her to my channel to tell us why she left the almighty United Kingdom, packed her bag and baggages, came home, rented a 3-bedroom flat. Oh my God. At the price of, that was 550,000. She bought a car. She enrolled her 2 children in the most expensive schools in Lagos. And I couldn't just think about it. So today, she has to tell us the reasons why she left the United Kingdom for Nigeria. She's my friend and a sister. We've known each other for about 5 years. Please, can we meet you?
Yeah, hi. My name is Ojike. Yeah.
What was your experience like? Why did you leave the United Kingdom back to Nigeria?
One, growing up, the first thing is that I come from a family that we never envisaged living abroad. We always prefer to go for vacation and come back. Okay. But then, after marriage, a lot of things is going to change, especially for we, the ladies. It's not about we again, it's about building your life around the family. So it got to a point in my marriage where my husband had to travel to United Kingdom. I prayed for it, and then we honestly wanted it because of his career. And then when he left, oh my God, that was the first time I had to stay away from my husband. So he felt like my world was crumbling because we had this strong bond. So we've never stayed apart. So I think maybe I might sound weird, but that was what actually happened. So I wasn't focused. That little time he left, I could have used it to prepare my mind towards like what I'm going to see in UK and stuff like that. But the little people I went to, let me just say that I was misinformed. I have to appreciate the YouTubers now. I think they are doing a lot, especially she that has been doing travel, lifestyle. In fact, a lot of people now, I refer them to her channel because it answers a lot of questions. If you are coming to study, if you are coming with your family or whatsoever, all the information you need is there. Unlike them, such was not the case. So
can I just chip in? What year did you come to the UK first?
The first time
when you joined your husband, right?
It was 2016 or thereabouts.
2016.
Yeah, I joined him.
Okay, so you spent how many years here before you decided
it wasn't even that long. Because when I came, oh my God, I wasn't prepared. The information and everybody would tell you UK is this, UK is that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that UK is not good, but I know a lot of people, my parents, in-laws, and everybody was mad at me. Why would you come to Nigeria with 7 months pregnancy, from UK? My dad told me people in Nigeria, they are trying all things to go to abroad to have your child. So why are you in abroad coming down? But the truth of the matter is that was when this Brexit thing started. Okay. And then the medical sector here was a whole crap. Like just like what is happening now. If you're tuned to your news, you know that UK is a kind of experiencing strike in every aspect. The nurses and everybody is on strike here in this country. So, and then if I had my 2 kids in Nigeria, obviously. So, thankfully to God, I could afford a good hospital care. Like my first and my second pregnancy, I've been attended to by a gynecologist and obstetrician. When I was pregnant, there have been a number of times I had to go into the emergency in the Almighty Women Hospital. This is a specialist hospital here in the whole of England. It's just two. I think one happens to be here in Liverpool. So you can imagine going to a specialist hospital. And then there was a time I went with my husband and we were there on the emergency unit for up to like 1 a.m. In fact, my 2 kids, they were on the floor and there was just nobody to attend to us. And then of course, because my mind is no longer in this UK, my hormones and everything started acting out. In fact, I could go out now and any small thing, everything was just playing against me. So that was the night I told my husband, after now, I'm not having it again, because I know if I go to Nigeria, especially in Lagos, I intend to stop. I could afford a good hospital. Sure. So why die here? I've never had complications in pregnancy, but that last one was a total mess. Like, you of course you witness what happened throughout the pregnancy in Nigeria and everything. So that was another thing that happened, but this is not what everybody knows then. So that was why I don't blame them when they blame
in the hospitals.
The waiting time. I mean Nigeria is in a mess, but sometimes if you have your money, you can still have your way around some of the things. So
I can attest to that.
That's why then it wasn't when people were seeing it from the other end. Me, I'm seeing it because I know Nigeria is bad and everything, but obviously if you still can afford a little bit of cash to an extent, you can get a lot of things you want in Nigeria, can't you? Sure, so that was why I told my husband it's better I go home alive than there, because if he continues, I'm sure. But I was very sure that I might not make it if I'm to have my child there. I was a kind of very confused, which was why my husband could allow me go, because he started seeing what was happening. I couldn't even get scanned, and I know because I studied medical course, so I knew that obviously sometimes I could feel some odds around me. I needed to even know at first whether it was an ectopic pregnancy, because I did my research on ectopic pregnancy, and then I was having some signs of it, but I couldn't even get scan appointment in hospital up to like
it's usually
up to like I think up to like more than 15 weeks, and now there was another screening I needed to do by 12.5 weeks, so it wasn't done. So what if the pregnancy was ectopic? What if the pregnancy was a Down syndrome? No, those kind of a thing. So I didn't have that privilege, so that was why I was like I needed to go home. And then I wasn't just told about the child care. Everybody would say, education is free. This one is that. Nobody tells you that your child needs to be up to 3 years to go to school. Yes. And nobody tells you that even at that 3 years, your child doesn't get a full time hour. It's a thing of 8:45 to 11:45, 11:45.
That's about 4 hours.
3 hours. It's not even up to 3 hours. Yes. Sometimes it's 2 hours plus. So, and then nobody told you about the career, the job, a lot of things, and nobody was there to prepare my career as well, because I'm an allied health professional. I'm a sonographer, and then I specialize in obs and gynae. So nobody was there to tell me about my career, what I needed to do to practice there, and in fact, I came here as a novice. So entering UK happened to me. Abroad happened to me. So I think that was the first thing that swept me. It swept me totally. Immediately I came here, it was a total turn off for me. Number one, I could stay with my 2 kids. My child was going to school in Nigeria. And then I prepare her for school. School bus pick her up and then bring her back. You know, that kind of Nigeria vibe. So when I came here, she wasn't up to 3 years. So the first shocker of my life was I had to. Because my son then was just nearly 2 years, I think so. And then my first daughter was going to 3 years, but not up to 3 years. So both of them had to stay indoor. And you know what that means? 3 of us has to always be indoor.
And you haven't met a lot of people there.
I'm coming to that. And somebody like I'm highly extrovert. Yeah. So you can imagine keeping me indoor. That's an easy way of killing me without poison. So that was the first shocker of my life. At first I could go to the city. But sometimes you just go to window. You just go about. At nothing. Going around the city, and it wasn't just making sense. No work, no business, no nothing. And the kids, you could be with them from morning to, not like I hate my kids, but mothers will relate. Like you're stuck with your kids there. Like everywhere, if you go into the toilet, everywhere, there is no breathing space. Unlike in Nigeria, you send them to school, you send them to aunties, you send them everywhere. But that was the first one I couldn't cope with.
It was really a shock actually. When I met you, the first time you came to the house where I was staying in Lagos, because she was looking for a house. So she came in, she said she came back from the UK. I said, okay, so why are you here? Why did you have to leave the UK and come back home? She was heavily pregnant.
At first I didn't tell you. We started living fight because I wasn't telling people. By the time you want to eat me raw, you know what it means coming back with 7 months pregnancy.
Everyone wants to eat me raw. What exactly is this lady talking about? How could she just come back from the UK with this pregnancy, her children to reside in Nigeria? She was giving me some kind of reasons that I couldn't really digest in my head, But later on, she decided to, start saying some things that really made sense. Being that I've also stayed in the UK in the past, I was able to understand her in a way. I came to the UK as a single person, not as a family person. So my own experience was actually different. Talk more of someone who's got children. So now coming back to Nigeria, you spent how many years in Nigeria, please?
I think it was a year plus. I spent a year plus maybe
in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So can you really tell us again? You said no to the UK because your head couldn't, couldn't wrap around the system and how everything was just going, and you landed yourself in Nigeria, Lagos, the most busiest city and most expensive city, and you
It was crazy.
You rented a 3-bedroom apartment, 550,000 a month. Yes, I know. You got a car. This is what people would have back home, and they are comfortable. You got your kids in the best schools in Lagos, Nigeria. So why are you here again? This is Liverpool. If you don't know, we're in Liverpool. Why? What really brought you back? Why did you come back?
If I'm laughing too much.
Why did you come back?
So what actually happened is that when we came back, I think one of the things that brought me back is so I could plan. Though when I was coming back, in all honesty, I wasn't looking at coming back. Honestly, I wasn't looking at coming back
to the UK.
Yeah.
There was a time you said you wanted to relocate to Oka.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Oka because that's where we've been. My husband is a lecturer in University of University. So I find Oka very calm, and so I don't want to base in Lagos for anything because my parents were there and then I've been there as a child. But I only stayed there because of few things I needed from in Lagos University Teaching Hospital, LUT. And then staying in Lagos, my daughter wouldn't forgive me because every time my husband usually visits every 3-4 months.
Yes, I've seen.
And every time my husband comes back, you need to see the war between my daughter. They have this daughter-father connection. Yeah. And then she's always sick and she's always like, Mom, take me back to England. Here it's not working. It's not working. Oh my God, you can't believe the plight of this poor child. And all this generator thing, the noise in Lagos, everything was so wrong for this baby girl. And then she wouldn't forgive me for like, Mom. Sometimes she just start screaming, Mom, I want to go back to. I was like, you're not even born in England. Why so? And at some point, Buhari, Lagos, Nigeria started happening to me as well.
I remember this lady. Sometimes she would go out. She would be like, "I'm not taking my car." I said, "No, you need to go out with your car."
Oh my God! You remember the day I finished from LUT. Sometimes I'll be in traffic. The patient that need to attend in LUT, they will be attended to by another doctor. And then by the time I will be in traffic, that will be about 3 hours. Getting to LUT, all the patients are gone. All my colleagues are gone. And there was a day I had to trek from airports, international airports, down to Sele. I mean, that was the one. Most times my kids have to be in childcare till 8 p.m. for me to come back and go and pick them. And by then I'm so exhausted and everything. So the finance was there, obviously. My husband tried his best to make us comfortable and everything, but then the comfort is not there. Yes. And then at that point, I started feeling for the plight. I started feeling like a little bit guilty that these kids had the opportunity because we had valid visa then. I think we had like 4 years visa then, and then you're lavishing in Nigeria with a valid. So most times when I look at the VRP, and when my daughter cries, so I couldn't just. And then because me as a mom, I was beginning to feel everything was on me, staying apart from my husband and a lot of things. So that was the point. I was like, I need to put my career in order now, so that I would think I have to go back to UK.
Okay, let me come in. Having stayed in Nigeria for about 2 years, career-wise, did you achieve anything?
Yeah, the thing is that because at the point I changed my mind, I was going to come back to UK. Obviously, by then I went online. I could figure out things that I was really working towards coming to UK with UK requirements now. Things that could make me work in UK in my profession, and that was my focus then. And then I was going about getting all the experiences and everything I need to. And then documentation wise, I went to get both
You did a program, sorry. I just want to come to that. What program was that you did?
So I did a postgraduate qualification. That was where I did my part of my obs and gynae specialty program. So I did a clinical placement there to get basically the hands-on placement because LUT is a teaching hospital, it's a federal hospital. Okay,
the training you did, is it like a certification for you to be able to practice in the UK?
Well, it's a postgraduate qualification, so it's not just to practice in UK. That program is not solely for LUT. LUT is a 56 affiliate center that does the program. It's from Philadelphia, USA. So, but LUT got licensed, so it's a kind of international qualification, a sort of.
Okay.
So that was why I decided to do it while staying in Lagos, so that I wouldn't just be idle. Because in medical line, you shouldn't have that much of gap. I know the child care gap is there, but at the same time, I just did it as a continuous professional development, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So coming back to the UK, when did you come back to the UK again?
I came back.
No, when did you run back? When did you run back to the UK? Because you did not come back. You ran back.
I ran, no, because I remember I finished my professional exam. I think I finished my professional exam on 18th of November.
Yeah.
By October ending, I wasn't planning coming back, but I came back. I think it was the day I walked from airport to Lagos. I called my husband.
You walked?
I drove. It was about 8 p.m. I went on taxi actually, but the traffic was so horrible. And then I remember my kids are still in school. I needed to pick them, so I had to alight from the taxi. I had to actually walk. Thankfully to go for Coke. Coke has been saving life. I had my Coke that day. That was what I was just. I know it's not healthy, but I was drinking. I was walking, and I was so exhausted. So that day I came back. I called my husband and I said, "People have started looking for house in Oka for me, Anambra State." I called my husband. I said, "This is not me again. I think I am sorry. I came back. I know everything you spent, everything because it is spent to
I really felt for her husband.
You're getting family." So after I finished my exam 18th, or I think it was 18th of November.
Yeah.
So before you know it, my husband could book our tickets and my document and everything I needed was okay. So I finished my exam just a few days after that. We just moved.
All right. I'm glad that you are finally back to Liverpool, the United Kingdom, where your husband is staying, because it is important for a family to be staying together.
Yes,
you actually claim that you can or you could afford anything in Nigeria to a reasonable extent, in quote.
Yeah.
And then you were able to afford a new generator in Nigeria, brand new generator. What happened to that generator?
The thing is that it was part of the Nigeria that happened to me again. About my generator set, it wasn't up to a week.
It wasn't up to a week.
No, I bought the generator. And you won't know, not be fairly used. I carried my generator come back because my daughter wanted to bite my ears off. I am off. Oh my God. So I had to go and buy them. And then we used to buy our fours in Jericho. You have 25 liters. You want to buy the whole. No, after they sell for to you, you can't even buy from Lagos because yours was the big.
Sister life in Lagos.
Well, you said the generator, which I could have done, but well, because I've never stolen something, so I wasn't.
And the compound was secured.
I mean, it was secured, and then it was a place you're paying. The first rent was 750, and then you continuously you're paying 650 or I think or something. And then it was a very responsible compound, but then I think we were the only same people there in the midst of nobody me talking.
Two other men, and then it was just two of us taking care of the compound.
I mean, our husband used to take care of us, but staying there. The reverse was the case. I mean, these
we were taking care of the men.
We were taking from the lawman to treating.
I was the one treating the water. Sometimes you do.
Yeah, but you taught me because when you were about living, you have to teach me how to miss. If you see these chemicals, it smells and everything. I mean, you can imagine a house you're paying that amount. I will have to say, excuse me, let me steal this moment to say, if you're living in Lagos, please try the best you can to make heaven. Because Lagos is hellfire. I mean, Jesus. You cannot afford to live in hellfire, practically while alive, and then your eternity is still not secure. Try and secure that one, so that fire not go burn you here on earth.
Preach on.
Because Lagos, I go down budget finish, no be me talk. I saw in there. Yeah, so my generator. I bought this generator with excitement and everything. Unboxed the generator, put it there, carried my generator, went and bought for. I think it was a few days after I had my baby. Went outside to go and put on my generator.
And everywhere was bad.
It was just my cord.
Oh, they left your cord for you?
Yeah, the one that went from the house, that came from the house to the, the extension, I had to look because we had a generator house, you remember?
Yeah.
So I had to look again. I cleaned my eyes because,
Oti Warakoto. Generator has developed legs and hands and
I wouldn't believe that time of this because I actually woke up. I think it was around 1 a.m. when my daughter started disturbing the newborn and because then we used to leave the generator into the night, and it dawned on me that the generator don't jab. I don't know. I don't even know if I should cry or.
That's one of the experiences people get staying in Lagos. Some things can happen.
Lagos
things like that. She could afford some reasonable things she needed in life. Unfortunately, the Buhari system, wouldn't allow her to enjoy all the things she could manage to afford. Sorry.
Lagos is hell.
Lagos, can we just hear from you? What advice would you give to women, especially those who are already into marriage or in marriage, moving to the UK. So what would be their likely expectations, just from your experience? What advice do you have for women like that?
Speaking from my own experience, I do say, one, if you're moving from a known location to an unknown location, it is the right thing for you to inquire.
Okay.
Inquire about the family. Most importantly, family is the first, right? So you inquire about your family life, where you're going. If you know the ages of your kids or stuff, try to find out. I mean, you just need to ask people that's going to give you the basic truth. I mean, not exaggerated truth, because people in Nigeria, people are so exaggerated abroad that once they come, sometimes within the next day you're depressed because you can't align the things we are told with the reality.
Sure.
But we are not saying that UK is bad, but we are saying that people should be made known to know the reality, how things actually works here. Like, you have to know about your kids, the ages they go to school, things they are eligible for. And not this UK is free school and UK is this. It's not true. It's not true. And then they tell you that whatever course you study in Nigeria, once you come here, you start working and then you start packing the whole money. It's not true. And then they tell you, I mean, what did they not tell us? And then when you come, you find out that it's not as if they're not saying the truth, but most of all this takes processes. It takes time. One, a mom should prepare her mind that when you come in here, just make up your mind depending on who is dependent and who is not dependent. So, but most times, if the wife is the dependent, so obviously prepare your mind that, one, if you're the career type, just know that obviously your career is not going to, obviously you will not put a break, but just know that you're going to be slow. And so just prepare your mind that the first maybe couple of months, years, you might not really be working, you might just be minding the kids. Because, I mean, for instance, if you have kids that are 3 years, 2 years, and 1 year, just make up your mind that 3 of them are staying in the house. Because, I mean, you can't afford childcare at that point.
Right.
You can't afford it. So you have to stay at home. Obviously, I mean, mobility and a lot of things. You have to consider a lot of things.
Well, I sincerely appreciate your contribution so far. Yes, and I'm glad having you on my channel. Yeah. So thank you very much for speaking up, and I hope you pick up 1 or 2 things from what she has said so far regarding those who are moving into the UK. You know, prepare your mind on what's on ground. All right, thank you so much for sticking to us. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and keep coming for more. What are you saying?
Yeah, obviously, I have to thank you for the good work you're doing, because you've been saving me. You've been saving me. You know, people come to ask, but I now share your vlog, and now, like, I'm going to put it on my status and everything, and then they go there, and I'm happy that when they come to your channel, because if I have this privilege, then I don't think what happened would have happened.
Yes.
So, right. I say thank you and bravo. You're doing a good work, and then I hope that we continue to grow.
All right, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. Bye.